to figure out a way to save a lot of the old cool things in Charlotte.
The way Charlotte looks today versus 10 or 15 years ago is dramatic, and people are starting to really miss some of those old nostalgic buildings and signs. JFG called us and wanted to talk about creating a fund called Save Our Signs. And then we realized that we were already working on a program like this about the roadside wonders in Charlotte. And you know, roadside wonder are these local businesses that have this kind of eclectic architecture and these signs that kind of scream at you as you drive down the street saying, come in and, you know, visit my business.
That's what's cool about the old signs, the same thing that's cool about the old buildings, or just the attention that was paid to the detail on the signs. I mean, you look at these old signs, they're thicker, they're longer and wider, and they're brighter.
Many of them are neon, many of them are wall signs, and they're all unique to Charlotte, and they're all in a way kind of works of art.
There's a lot of trickery in learning how to make one bend before you do the other. You have to sometimes, or you get yourself caught in a trap. It is hard work, it really is. Before fluorescents we used incandescent bulbs inside of plastic signs, big incandescent bulbs. The burnout rate was high, and expensive too. You buy the best bulbs you could, but they wouldn't last very long out there in the heat. So material change, paint change, almost all of that went through changes in the early 60s, 70s, you know, and still going on. There's character in old signs, and I think that was true in Reid's choice to rebuild their sign as opposed to going into something new and, you know, with fluorescent tubes or whatever.
It had been out for about 15 years. A cat had crawled up and apparently, we didn't know it at the time, apparently shorted out the electrical wiring and all, so it would kind of flicker ever so often.
They had a let's turn the sign back on party.
We had it hoisted back up and put in place.
Checked it 100 times to make sure it was going to come on. And half of the people in Eastover and the other half from Myers Park showed up one Sunday afternoon.
We did a big countdown and threw the switch and turned the light back on. And that was about 1985, 86. And had more fun with that Relight the Sign party.
The Reid sign, I mean, you just picture it. I mean, it's as important as the business sometimes. Recently, Greg from the Penguin, as well as Andy and Dave Rames from over there, are actually coming to do pinkies at West Morehead. The bug, we believe, was put up in the early 70s, and at first we all really didn't know what to do with the bug. When we applied for what's called a change of use with the city of Charlotte, and this is what kind of catches all the signs, is all signs have to be brought up to code if you go through a change of use. So if you go from a garage, in our case, to a restaurant, it's a change of use. So we then applied for a variance, and it was kind of a complicated, I won't go into all that, but it was a complicated process, and we actually lost the variance. It's one sentence in a book that stopped it, and that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. We had to apply for rezoning, was the only way we could keep it. And Tom Warshauer, who's with Economic Development, called and he said, I've got a great idea. He said, why don't you apply for matching grants through the neighborhood association, and then you can, the city will help fund the rezoning for the bug. So we applied for the matching grant, we got it, and we applied for the rezoning and we got that, and we didn't have any opposition. It seems to mean a lot to a lot of people. I mean, it's almost embarrassing how much attention we have gotten from the bug. Just anywhere you go, people that saw the news articles or see us driving the new little bug. And now people honk at me all the time and I get confused when I'm driving it.
So we're seeing this again and again, whether it's a new building or an old business that's trying to update its look. They're getting back to that, that sort of mid-50s nostalgic feeling of signs that telegraph the kind of business, they telegraph that it's a local business. And we felt like it's an important piece of Charlotte's history to try to preserve.
Signs really tells what the company's about, the character of the people.
I think we're beginning to realize that we do have a past and a history that is worthy of saving.
We're excited to be invited in today by Historic Charlotte and JFG Save Our Signs to help promote the text amendment and possibly some, I guess, sign grants, or like a facade improvement grant that we have now is great. Maybe a sign grant to save some of these. And it's excited to see other people getting as passionate about it and jumping in.
We need folks to join our Facebook page, to send us emails at sos@historiccharlotte.org. Tell us what you like, tell us if there's a sign that we're missing, or maybe a sign that might need some help that we could do something about. This is supposed to be a joint effort, so any help people can give us would be great.